waiting, what,
Okay.
waiting. Everybody's playing the waiting game. Waiting, what, waiting. Everybody's playing the waiting game. There, thank you, Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Wait, is that their song? Oh. Who knew?
Welcome to All Things Internet, a show where we talk about things we see on the internet that usually have to do with the internet, and Emily does her darn tootin' hardest to fact check and research anything she thinks is appropriate to do so with. I'm Rachel Ballinger.
I'm Emily Brostaff.
And welcome to a new episode of All Things Internet. First off, hi. I'm going to start with something. Ready? We launched new merch. So I'm wearing one of our t-shirts. Emily's wearing one of our hoodies. But if you want to check it out for those listening, it says All Things Internet and it's 80s style. And we have different colors. And
Colors
we've got
90s.
It's 90s style, not 80s. Don't know where I am. Not here, apparently. We have 2 hats, a mug, a little water bottle tumbler thingy with a straw, t-shirts, hoodie. Is that it? Phone cases? Yep. So go ahead, check it out. Hats, I said that, I think. There is a Linktree link in the bios of all of my social medias, and in that, if you scroll to the bottom, it says merch link. You just go there, and it'll take you to my Fanjoy page where all of our merch is at. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, you can do the rest now. I'm done. That took me, 1 minute? Perfect.
That was really
My
good.
job here is done. I can go home.
Sit back and relax.
I already am home.
I'm moving this to the floor. It was distracting me. You didn't ask
It was a pillow.
It was a pillow.
Wait, Emily, before we begin, I have to ask, how are you?
Thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome. I'm a really good friend.
I'm actually thriving today, I think. I think.
You said that you had your fire alarm go off for 2 hours straight last night.
Yeah.
They shut your water off this morning. I
Yeah.
saw you get to I told her to be here at 1 because I wasn't going to be here till 1.
Yeah.
And then at 12:35, I see her at my front door through my Ring camera. I was like, why is Emily there so early?
To shower.
Yep. My kid from college has come home.
I almost brought my laundry, but I
Yep.
didn't have time.
Anyway, so I'm glad despite all of those things, you're thriving.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot better now. I've showered.
Is your medication leveled out?
My medication's leveled out. I've showered. I'm sitting in air conditioning.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So we're good to go.
We're good to go. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little tired. I got things to do, but I'm getting through them. I'm getting them done, and that's all that matters.
And you have a very fun weekend planned.
I do. I have my cousin's bachelorette weekend in Huntington Beach. I did my other friend Zara's bachelorette weekend in Vegas last week. I'm tired. I'm 31. It takes a lot of energy to do anything now. And I'm not even halfway there yet in life. No. I still got lots to live.
Yes.
I now understand why when I was little, adults were constantly complaining about things. We're just tired. It doesn't stop.
No.
Past 26, you're tired.
Mine hit at like 16.
Well, a lot of things. Just mental illness. I love you. I'm not making fun of it. I'm saying
I make fun of it.
Factored into it. You can make fun of yourself. I can make fun of you too, but not for like mental illness. I'm sure I have already though.
Yeah. I don't really care.
All right. Anyway.
Oh,
we have to. I'm just looking
what's
at my
wrong
feet.
with your feet?
I just need to scrub them. I use my little pumice stone, the holy stone.
Okay.
On it in the shower, but I need to cheese grate it.
Ew. Okay, you're done. Bye. All right. Also, who's joining us today for those that are just listening?
We have Blaze Boy here. Last week it was Daisy Ways, and today it is my meat stick.
My meat stick.
Abby named him Meat Stick a while back, and it stuck.
He's a little baby seal.
He my Blaze Boy.
Little Blazer Race.
Yep.
All right. You ready?
I've been ready. No, we're not going anywhere place. That was the stroll voice.
Oh.
Like when we take him for strolls.
Oh, I didn't.
You're all good.
I didn't mean it.
Back down.
Go to
relax.
Sleep. All right. All right. We're going to start off with a story about Britney Spears.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
That was smooth.
Thank you.
She is back at it again with the Instagram posts.
Love it.
But this time she was directing it towards her son, Jaden.
Oh.
Yeah. So her son, Jaden, and her ex, Kevin Federline, recently did an interview where they talked about their opinions on the conservatorship, Britney herself, and then her son, Jaden, talked about their strained relationship and why the boys don't see her as much anymore. And we've all been knowing.
How old are these boys, real quick?
I know Jaden's 15. I don't know how old Preston is.
I feel they're too young to be interviewed for this.
Yep.
Okay, that was my initial thought. We can't blame them for anything they say.
I know,
and
they're children.
We can't be like, oh, like you can't take anything they say as truth. Like
Right.
because their dad could be telling them things, but also they're too young to really make those decisions. Like they're too young to be interviewed is my thought process.
It's very obvious during this interview how brainwashed they've been
'Kay.
by Kevin and Britney's parents.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So we've all been noticing recently that Britney and
I have not.
well, yes, you
Whatever
have.
you're about to say, we've all known. I promise you, I have not.
Well, you've noticed that her boys haven't been showing up as much, right?
Well, I knew that they haven't, but like,
Yeah,
it wasn't
see?
okay.
See, we all know. And she's even been talking herself on her own social media platforms about how she doesn't see them anymore. And remember, they didn't come to her wedding.
Yes,
that
yes,
was like a big thing. Well, last month in an interview, Kevin, which are the boys' father, he explained to the Daily Mail why the boys didn't go to the wedding. And he said, the boys have decided they're just not seeing her right now. It's been a few months since they've seen her. They've made the decision not to go to her wedding. Thank you. That was very informative. So then, but then Kevin did go on to say that Jaden and Preston, so Preston is her other son, were uncomfortable with Britney's minimally censored naked Instagram photos, which she's previously said she posts them because it's her way of like reclaiming her power since getting out of the conservatorship.
Yeah.
But it can be uncomfortable for your, like, I wouldn't want to see my mom.
We just talked about last week how like Addison Rae's mom
Yeah.
and dad are like, that's like when your parent is famous and they do things, it can,
it's blurry.
it's a blurry line. But like after seeing Addison Rae and what is his name? Young
Gravy.
Young Gravy.
Young Money.
At the what I'm sure you're gonna speak at the VMAs.
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
at.
yeah.
I'm like, she's can date whoever she wants. Like that, I didn't
Yeah.
seem wrong to me at all. It's
that
not
doesn't
my
mean she
place
wants-
to even say everyone's a consenting adult, so who cares about my opinion? But it was Addison's dad that was the mess in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you have kids, as a parent, things you do, it can affect your children. So I do
Yeah.
understand if they're like quote unquote embarrassed by
Yeah.
it, but also it is her body and it's her Instagram and she can do what she wants with it.
When it's her new reclaimed life. But that
Yes.
doesn't mean that like your kid wants to see that.
Yeah,
you know?
your kid doesn't want to see that. It is hard. Like,
Yeah. It's a very weird place to be in.
yes.
So in that same interview where Kevin was talking about how like why the boys were uncomfortable and everything, he ended up defending her father, Britney's father.
No.
Yeah,
Dude, wrong side.
Yeah.
Wrong side.
He claimed that Jamie Spears, which is Britney's dad, quote unquote, saved her life. He said, I saw this man that really cared and really cares about his family and wanting everything to be okay. When Jamie took over, things got into order. He saved her life.
Maybe in that month he really like was like, hey, maybe she was going off, but then that didn't continue.
No. Okay.
By the end of that conservatorship, she was just a moneymaker to him and had no rights as a human being.
Well, she was from the very beginning. Like since she started her career, she was his bank account. She was his ATM card.
Yeah.
And same with Kevin. Like, she was paying for everything. And that's something she said in her Instagram post is like, when have you ever had a job? Like, since we got married and divorced, when have you ever had a job? I've been paying you like $200,000 a month or something ridiculous. I've been paying for the boys' school. I've been paying for everyone's insurance. I've been paying for this and that. And he just doesn't do anything, according to Britney.
So he wanted her in the conservatorship.
Yes. Well, and that's what I was going to say.
it.
I think the reason, because Jaden ends up defending Britney's parents as well, which clearly shows how brainwashed he is by the dad. I think the dad is trying to stay on Britney's parents' good side because I don't know, maybe he like wants money from them still, or like
he thinks that they're going to get the conservatorship back or something.
I don't know, but like, yeah. So anyway, and then so that was a month ago. And then Jaden, the son, recently talked to a filmmaker, Daphne Barrett, where he basically talked about how there's no hate between him and his mom, but that it will take a lot of time and effort to repair the relationship. And he said, I just want her to get better mentally. When she gets better, I really want to see her again. That he's really happy for Britney and Sam, but that wasn't appropriate for him or Preston to attend the wedding because he said she didn't invite the whole family. And then if it was just, right, if it was just going to be me and Preston, I don't see how that situation would have ended on good terms. And then he went on to defend Mima and Papa, which are Britney's parents.
Yeah.
And he said that his grandfather doesn't deserve all the hatred that he's getting in the media.
Yeah, they're too young. They're too young to see anything else, and they're in the midst of it all. They're young. They're kids. They only know what they're told. They shouldn't be doing interviews.
Yeah.
And when they're adults, I hope they really see like kind of what's going on. I mean, we will never know 100% the full story either, but it's pretty
a
human
clear.
being has the right to their human rights.
Yes.
That's all there is to it.
Well,
and she had no rights, and her money was being taken from her, and whether she is like mentally unstable or whatever, that's her life to choose if she wants to be on medication or what doctor to go to or not have to do any of it. She doesn't have to be on medication. She can do whatever she wants.
That's what she said. She couldn't even take an Advil without asking someone first.
Yeah, like it's her body, and whatever she wants to do, that's up to her.
Yeah. So after this whole interview, in true Britney fashion, she got onto Instagram. And she posted, it was one of my favorite ones I've seen so far. She said, I've tried my best at being the best person I can be. To basically be held hostage in homes under nurses and BS. I hope my kids one day understand my reasoning of my play in water revealing myself as any woman would be held under blankets and supervision. It's a little chaotic in the beginning. She said, finally at 40, without the restraints of what my family did to me, I say to my son, Jaden, that I send all my love in the world to you every day for the rest of my life. My love for my children has no boundaries, and it deeply saddens me to know his outcry of saying I wasn't up to his expectations of a mother, and maybe one day we can meet face to face and talk about this openly. It goes on for a little bit, but my favorite part is she said, I helped your father who hasn't had a job in 15 years. I assume it's easier for you guys not to have someone check on you to make sure you're doing your homework. I'm sure the standards of your dad smoking weed every day benefits your daily life at 15 and 16 to partake in a very cool generation. I completely understand your need to live with your father, as I had to play the perfect role for 15 years for absolutely nothing. I'm so happy I was able to carry 4 tours, Judge, X Factor, and way more. I did that all for you and for Preston. I'm aware of your gift. I know you're a teacher in my life, and dear child, I'm a teacher for you as well. It goes on. But she was just
dragging the dad,
fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
she didn't seem to, she was just trying, she wants to see her kids, and
yeah, this just seemed a little not like bullying her kid, but like
kind of publicly shaming him.
Yeah.
Again, like she can do what she wants, but that, I don't think she realizes, like, she's probably frustrated, but yeah, she shouldn't take to Instagram to speak to her son.
No.
That's definitely something that should be more private.
Yeah.
That's.
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole thing's just a very sad situation.
Yeah, it is. She hasn't been taught how to do things, quote unquote, normally.
No.
She doesn't know.
No. And she's still like, even though she's not so mentally ill that she needs to be like held under bounds for the rest of her life, like she still does have mental illness. And so like that's always going to affect the way that she interacts with like public and social media and stuff. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on, let's check to see if we have a sponsor for today. Sponsor. Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. When a problem arises, it's tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode instead of panic mode over the problem. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there is no better feeling. I've been in therapy for a while now, and my therapist is big on teaching me how to solve my own problems instead of her just giving me the solutions, and it helps me get through life easier. So I don't always have to go to her when I have an issue. She's given me the tools to solve my own problems. So if you're thinking about giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, affordable, and entirely online. And you can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you can switch therapists at any time. They can help you solve your problems by teaching you how to solve them on your own. So when you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/allthingsinternet today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/allthingsinternet. the name of the show. All right, I'm so tired. I sat down and I can't keep my eyes open.
You go to sleep. I got this. Just every once in a while, I'll go, ooh.
Yeah.
All right. So
Isn't that what I normally do, but just with my eyes open?
No, you talk a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have some updates on the Gabby Hanna situation.
Oh my God. There's more?
There's more. So
all right.
If you missed last week, basically Gabby Hanna, who was a really popular YouTuber, then transitioned into musician, transitioned into TikToker. She's an influencer. She was having what looked like a very manic episode on TikTok last week. So after you good?
My eyes burn. And I can't rub them because I'm wearing makeup for the first time all week.
Do. And then just blink.
Why? That dries them out.
I don't know. See?
They burn. Continue.
Okay. So after Gabby posted for almost 48 straight hours on TikTok, posting almost 300 of them in a row, she fell super silent all of a sudden. So the internet was kind of in agreement that she was experiencing a manic episode because she has talked super openly in the past about how she has bipolar disorder, and the behavior that she was displaying was very indicative of a manic episode. And so when she went silent, everyone was like, okay, there's the crash. Because when you have a manic episode, if it's not treated properly or you're not on medication, whatever, you normally have a big crash after, and that comes your depressive episode where a lot of times you seclude and just shut down. So that's what everyone thought was going on. Well, at the time of filming this, which is Friday again.
Yeah, September 2nd.
September 2nd.
It's Kelly Six's birthday. Happy birthday, Kelly Six.
Happy birthday. Yesterday, so on Thursday, she ended up deleting every single one of those 300 videos. and then she posted a follow-up video where she explained, and that's in big quotes, explained her behavior, compared herself to Britney Spears, and then never really apologized for her racist remarks, which I did look into. I had time to look into it. So I did mention last week that people were very mad because she made racist remarks in those 300 TikToks, but obviously I did not have time to go through and watch every single one. Found them, and she said, in case anyone was curious, thank you, Blaze.
Sorry, Blaze looked at her like he had something to say, and I put the microphone to his face. Continue.
She said, Black people are inherently so much cooler than white people because they were raised with Jesus and told to respect their mamas and keep their faith.
Whoa, no, stop.
It keeps going.
She could have just stopped at Black people are cooler than white people.
Yeah,
and
I would have been like, get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But then she had to keep going.
Then she had to stereotype, and then, sweetie, that's not okay.
It gets worse.
Okay.
She says, Black women especially naturally embody the Holy Spirit because Black mothers are always left to raise the baby alone when the father leaves.
Whoa.
Yep. The mothers are dependent on God to get them through the tough times. And white men are like, Black women are powerful, and that's scary. And instead of saying, hey, Black people, hey, Native American Indians, you really look happy on your land. It's ours now. And then she went, pew, pew, like as in like the colonizers shooting people. And then she said...
Wait, so she went to talking about the Black community to Native Americans or First Landers? Yeah, okay.
Okay. And she wrapped it all up with, white people aren't evil. They just weren't born near Jesus.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on this one.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, I think her heart was in the right place.
A swing and a miss, baby girl. All right. She did delete that particular TikTok the day after, which is why I couldn't find it. But don't worry, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. So people screen recorded it and put it on YouTube, which is where I was able to find it. And apparently she did post a follow-up video kind of recognizing what she said was wrong. She was just like, yeah, I could see how that was wrong. And then just like didn't address it again. And so, okay. But anyway, after she deleted all of the 300 videos, she posted another video today where she said, and this is a direct quote, and this was her attempt at explaining her behavior, right?
Oh, 1 second. We're going to pause. Okay. Our SD card cut out, but this is a great spot to have a sponsor. Sponsor. This episode is brought to you by the dating app Hinge. To help our community navigate the complicated world of LGBTQIA+ dating, Hinge is bringing you not so frequently asked questions. It's answers to LGBTQIA+ questions not talked about enough. Responses to these not so frequently asked questions come from diverse creators in the community. I'm especially interested in hearing responses to the question, how can I start dating if I'm not ready to come out? Or I'm hesitant to be someone's first queer experience. Is that fair? You can even submit your own NFAQ through the website. So to learn more and hear different perspectives on these not so frequently asked questions, go to hinge.nfaq.co. That's hinge.nfaq.co.
My bad.
Emily, please continue.
So she said, the reality of my career and existence is I do whatever the F I want and it's fine. Years ago, I was assaulted at a party and instead of that person being held accountable, I filed a police report and nothing was done. She's referring to the Gumball, was that his name? Remember she went to a party.
Oh, some dude threw her phone or something
threw her phone and like pushed her out of the way or something. But I'm not going to comment on that. But it wasn't, to my knowledge, it wasn't any type of sexual assault. It was just he threw her phone and kind of pushed her out of the way.
Yes.
Like at a club in front of tons of other people. All right. So she said that person was never held accountable. I filed a police report and nothing was done. The internet was on his side. I was victim shamed and bullied and harassed and followed and demeaned in public. I'm 5'5" and small and effing tall men were following me. And ever since then, it's just been one thing after another. And the tabloids on the internet have done everything in their power to make me a crazy, hysterical woman. So now no one pays attention to me unless I'm a crazy, hysterical woman. So now I'm a crazy, hysterical woman. Fine. I'm going to channel that into something that actually matters, which is dying children, homelessness, and racism. The fact that there's people without clean water, yet I'm crazy for effing caring. I already had my reputation and so much of my peace stripped away from me. From people who just exploited me for profit like Britney Spears. It goes on for a long time. But
how is this explaining what happened?
Because what I'm getting from it is she's basically saying, I'm acting like this because it's the only way that I can get attention.
But when she has the attention, she's not doing anything to combat homelessness, racism, children without water.
That's what I'm saying. I really do think she's going through something and she's trying to explain it away. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I do not know her personally. And, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So I really don't know.
Because if she had just stopped after
if she is suffering from something, I hope that it goes away or she gets help or it gets stable or whatever that needs to happen happens. And if it's an act of some sort, dear God, that's crossing a line.
Yeah. Well, and she did say in another TikTok that got deleted, it was one in the 300, but it was the day after it was like the most posts that she did in a row. She said something along the lines of like, if you guys can't appreciate my art for what it is, like basically saying that all of these TikToks were like an art piece, but didn't directly say that. If it was a manic episode, I feel that she could believe what she was saying, but what she was saying was art as well. Yeah. So it's very, we are not doctors. We don't know. It's very strange. But people on the internet are like
they're eating it up.
Yeah, they're taking this monologue that she posted this morning and basically being like, okay, so she's admitting it was all an act. I can't tell.
I don't know if it was all an act. If it was, I mean, like that's dedication.
That is dedication.
That's dedication. That's all I have to say. If it was an act, it was dedication.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, then y'all are just taking one sentence that it says it was an act and then just taking that as
running with it. Yeah, and ignoring all these other things that are going on.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
But she did talk in that same video about how two mental professionals, so either psychiatrist or a psychologist, came to the house and did tests on her and that she was perfectly fine, but that they tried to drag her away to a mental hospital just like they did with Britney Spears, and that because she meditates and eats good food, she was able to keep herself calm, but that because the police were there, it could have ended very badly for her and she could have died. And like, It was just all these like little side rants. And then at one point she launched into like this very gaslighty rant about how none of this should have happened in the first place. Her words were, none of this should have been allowed to happen. And she went into this like monologue about how no one should have called 911, no one should have called a wellness check, police should have never come to her
that's
house.
Wrong. If you think someone's having a mental breakdown, there's no problem in a wellness check as long as, well, that's false. Sometimes if someone is fine and you do call a wellness check, you could mess up something and they're like,
well, you could like use resources that could be directed towards other people,
yeah,
but
and also it is sometimes you shouldn't send cops to someone's home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But she literally posted a TikTok screaming, "Help me!"
Yeah, like in that scenario, I don't blame anyone for calling for a wellness check on that. No.
So she was basically like blaming the people who actually cared about her and like were trying to help, and was basically being like, "Well, all of this was your fault." Yeah. Okay. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, she started promoting her new music. She deleted all of the videos, posted these follow-up videos, deleted those, and then just started promoting her music, and then basically said, "I'm logging off of TikTok. Go follow me on Instagram." Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
There it is.
There's also a follow-up to the Nicholas guy that broke into her house.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So he apparently went on TikTok Live to explain himself recently. Thought I was going to burp. He said that basically he was watching her have this, what he deemed a mental breakdown. So he decided to Google search, where does Gabby Hanna live? Found her address and decided it was his duty to go and help her. He said, when I noticed that she was all alone and no one was helping her, I recognized what she was doing was something I've seen before. I tried to go over there to break her out of the cycle and shed some light. And everyone was saying, call the cops, but the cops don't do anything. They had already been there and didn't do anything.
He didn't need to lie to her.
Oh, he addressed that. So someone on his live basically said, why did you pretend that you were a stranger that needed to use the bathroom and like you didn't know who she was? And he said, well, I did need to use the bathroom, and there's a video of me using the bathroom. Thank you, Nicholas.
Just no, don't go to people's houses.
Mm-hmm. And he said,
I'm not a professional.
No. He said, I was in the house and I was talking with her and she was having these delusions and she was telling me I was God and that there was a reason I came upon her today. And then she kept jumping from one thing to another. And then she went downstairs and she noticed I wasn't reacting as happily as she was. She thought, oh, wait, this guy's not as psycho as me. I had good intentions, but executed it wrong. And apparently it got deleted, but apparently I did watch it on YouTube. There was a video of him when he was in Gabby's house that he posted where basically he was rifling through her medication. And he said something along the lines of like, I'm going to try and figure out how to get this into her body. Like, because he thought she was having these manic episodes.
No.
Because she was off medication.
So you're going to drug her when you don't know what you're doing? Why is he
not arrested?
All types of wrong. There's just so much wrong happening everywhere.
How is he not arrested?
I don't know.
I don't know. So that's
all right.
As far as everything.
Yeah. Okay, then. Sounds good. All right. Hi. So we're cutting in because we were recording Friday. It is now Monday morning and there are Gabby updates. So we decided to get back together and record this against my will. Emily, take it away.
Felt like we needed to update them.
I know, you can't do it wrong. But
you can't do it wrong.
It's Monday morning, Labor Day.
It's very early.
Go.
Yeah. Okay. So since we recorded literally an hour after we finished recording.
Emily was mad.
She was so mad. Gabby posted like, I want to say half a dozen updates on her TikTok. And then she posted a lot more over the weekend. So some of the big updates, she did in fact confirm that it was a manic episode. So she So she said, yes, I was manic. I'm bipolar, but I've never experienced a manic state before. She said in multiple posts that it didn't start that way though. So like when everyone was initially thinking she was in a manic episode, she was like, no, this was my art. So
and then she kind of got lost in it.
And then she said she got lost in it. So she said that when she started with her recording and uploading, it was a spoken word piece. So it was her spoken word poetry.
Okay.
About things she cares about, which are homelessness and dying children and the environment, which I guess is what she was referring to when she said,
oh, that like update post that explained it, but it didn't.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And then, she also talked about like aliens and mental health and religion and karma and political topics. But like where stuff really started getting intense, according to her, is when the guy showed up. So she said up until the point into where the guy showed up, she was not in a manic episode. That was just her spoken word poetry. That was her art. And then she said when the guy showed up, it really triggered a PTSD response in her. And especially, she said when the cop showed up, it triggered, she kept saying these trauma responses in her, which sent her into a manic episode.
I didn't watch her videos, so I don't know where things, I don't know the timeline very well. But okay.
So it was spoken word poetry. Everyone thought she was manic though, because it was very erratic.
Okay.
Guy showed up, that sent her into a spiral. Police showed up, that sent her into the manic episode, and then the manic episode just continued until about like last Sunday night. And she did explain why she let the guy into her house. So she said she let him in because she tries to be kind wherever she can. And she said when this guy showed up and looked like he was on a run and sweaty and he just needed somewhere to pee, she wanted to be nice. And she only felt safe letting him into the home because she was on the phone with her friend.
Which she had said before.
Yeah, she made the guy state his full name. She got his DNA on the coffee cup. Like, she was like,
she is a forensic scientist.
Yes. She was like, I kept posting him all over TikTok, not because I thought it was funny or because I wanted to give him a boost, but because I wanted him to know that millions of people were watching him and he shouldn't do anything stupid. So, I
kind of believe that. That's a valid thing, I guess. Yeah.
And she said that he was wearing such tight clothing that she could tell he didn't have like a gun or a knife on him or anything. And so, yeah. And then she explains that a bunch of her friends, because remember I was like, I can't figure out where the shift happened, where she was like posting him and all happy. And then all of a sudden she was like, get out of my house.
Yeah.
Apparently a bunch of her friends started texting her and were like, we found his TikTok. He's posting from inside your home. He's not who he says he is.
Okay.
So then she got really scared. So she says that's when she kicked him out.
Got it.
And then she said right after she kicked him out, about 20 minutes later, she heard a like massive banging, like consistent, really loud banging at her front door. And she thought it was him coming back to like harm her.
Yeah.
And then she went upstairs and locked herself in her bedroom, and then she got the glass break alert on her phone, and then she got the critical alert alarm on her phone, which means someone had broken in, entered into her home. So, she locked herself away, didn't know what to do. She said she was panicking, but then she heard people calling her name and saying that they were the police. And so she, came out of her room and went downstairs, and she was like, I was just trusting that it was who they said they were. And as soon as she walked down the stairs, she said that they put her in handcuffs immediately and sat her down on one of her chairs. And so she said in her mind started spiraling, and she was like, oh my God, the guy I let into my home, he must have been a murderer. He must have been a robber. He was on the run. They think I was in cahoots with him. When really, it had nothing to do with him. They were showing up and doing a mental wellness check on her, because that's how you mentally check on someone, is you throw them in handcuffs.
Perfect. No trauma.
Love that.
Love how the world works.
Yep.
Continue.
Yep. So she said she was detained in her own home for 2 hours because people kept calling wellness checks on her, and that is what officially triggered her manic episode and all the posting after that. And she said another important piece to the story that she needed to tell us is that she was high as F, and that her body reacts to weed the way regular people react to shrooms. It makes her hallucinate and have spiritual experiences. So
she was high.
She was high, and she said that she reacts very dangerously to weed.
Why were you smoking weed then, sweetie?
I don't know. Well, she said later that it was because she took edibles instead of smoking. Well, she said she smoked and took edibles, and she said the edibles was her mistake. Because,
people make mistakes on edibles for sure.
So she said because the police interrupted this this spiritual experience that she was having on weed, that's what
she just went into a panic.
Yeah. And so then she started talking about this is, again, in my opinion, I don't think she's quite out of the woods yet.
Okay.
Because watching these explanation videos, some of them are very coherent, and then she just randomly jumps into more kind of non-coherent videos.
Okay.
It could be she's very frustrated and flustered and a little just discombobulated right now, or it could be she's not quite out yet, So she started talking about how she had a knife pulled on her when she was a child, and how she stood between a gun and children, and how she was a victim of childhood abuse, and how as an adult she experienced domestic violence, and she's a rape survivor, and that's why she smoked weed, so that she could process it all. But because it was interrupted, it ended up not going the way she wanted it to be. So this is where I'm not quite sure if she's out yet, because she started saying she confirmed that, in fact, it was a manic episode. But she says the parts that, what'd she say? But the part where she was talking about ghosts and the divine were the truth, and that she's not going to invalidate that. Because she's a medium, she's a psychic, and those parts were true. She said she's going to stop smoking weed and go back to therapy, but is going to look for a therapist that's also spiritual, that believes in God and angels and aliens just like she does, and that she's learned a lot from this experience, and she can now serve as a spokesperson for mental health.
Okay.
So
you know what? I got more of an explanation than I ever thought I would on this.
Right. Yeah.
So my nosy butt is kind of happy about it.
Same. So, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll never hear the full story of anything, and we don't know her brain or her. Yeah. So we'll never really know for sure, but I like the explanation.
I do too.
All right, thank you for that.
Well, a little bit more.
Oh, no.
A little bit more.
Thought that was the end. Okay.
She got a little...
I was going to go eat breakfast now, but here we are.
She got a little defensive at the end. And when she was explaining why she deleted all the videos, she started saying, she re-explained that the first dozen or so were a performance piece. And that we as the viewers were getting offended by her art, but that she doesn't mind offending people with her art, and then compares herself to Lady Gaga and Da Vinci and Van Gogh. So she says she didn't delete the videos because they were offensive, but she deleted them because she didn't adequately express herself to the point where she could get it across well enough. And then she started promoting her music again. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
So, oh my God. Wait. Okay. I swear it was the good part though. Burrito. She's so hungry. She's a different person when she's hungry.
I am.
Okay. So this was the best part. Okay. So she went, the very last videos that I saw, which were last night, she went on a separate spiel about how during her manic state, although she was delusional, which is her words, she said the experiences and the visions and the hallucinations that were given to her by the divine were given to her because she's been asking for these answers, right? So she's saying that whatever godlike figure she's believing in that's why she had this manic episode, is because she was being given answers. And she decided to share some of her answers that she was given, and she went on to say it was bad. She went on to say that Mother Nature is so powerful that she would never let one of her creations suffer. So she learned in her manic state that when animals and children are being abused, they don't actually feel any physical pain. And that their body is just now a vessel to catch the killers and abusers, or to help their family grow in some type of way spiritually. And that their consciousness has left their body, and the body that remains is in fact putting on an act for the Matrix.
That is so invalidating to every victim that ever existed in the world.
So do you see what I'm saying? I don't think she's quite out yet.
Well, okay.
Unless that's really her opinion, and then
it's wrong.
And then that's an opinion.
That's an opinion.
So
that I don't agree with.
She's promoting her music.
Great.
That's it.
That's the update. All right. Back to the rest of the episode. Okay. Bye. Bye. Do we have anything else?
Just what you mentioned earlier, that allegedly Young Gravy and Addison Rae's mom are
actual couple. All right.
Yeah.
Okay then. I saw them. Yeah, at the VMAs. They looked happy and well dressed
and connected with their mouths. So.
Yep.
So
whatever.
Okie dokie. All right. Ready for some positive news?
Please.
All right. So after 54 years, a man was reunited with a ring that was a very sentimental ring that was given to him by his late mother after he lost it in a field over 50 years ago, strawberry picking. So right? So his name is Dave Radley, and he was helping out a friend on his strawberry farm a really long time ago, and they spent the whole morning picking strawberries and getting them ready to sell. And after a few hours, he noticed that his brand new ring was missing. So, obviously he looked for it. It was very sentimental to him because his mother gave it to him on his 21st birthday, and she worked really hard to save up enough money to give it to him. They spent hours searching for it, couldn't find it. So fast forward 50 years. The same friend that had the strawberry farm still owns it, and they hired a metal detectorist.
Metal detector person?
Yeah, that person.
Yeah.
To scan the fields to look for it. And
Metal detector.
Metal detectorer.
metal detector. Yes.
And they found it eventually. It was 7 inches underground and only had a very small scratch on it. So they returned it to him and gave it back.
That's so cute.
Right?
Wow, that was a big one.
That was so violent.
That one came out of nowhere.
Wow.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That woke me up a little bit, but now I'm sleepy because I just put all my energy into that sneeze. So good night now again.
Good night. All right. California is preparing to launch a pilot project to cover its irrigation canals in solar panels. So, you know how
my comprehension didn't comprehend.
You know how we have the scenic LA River, which is a giant canal that's filled with trash water?
Live next to that, yes.
Oh, same. Yeah. It's not cute. Well, they're going to fill all those canals with solar panels. So
because there's no water in Southern California?
It's actually supposed to help with drought. So Good News Network did an article on this, and they said the decision was influenced by a 2021 research paper where scientists at the University of California, Santa Cruz crunched the numbers and figured out that the panels would save 63.5 billion gallons of water from evaporation annually by shading the flowing water and providing solar power. So it's like a win-win.
That's a genius idea, right? Loving these number crunches.
Right? So yeah, they said the installation process is going to begin in October, and they've already gathered more than 20 million in funding.
Wow. I'm into it. Love this.
Yeah.
Let's save the earth, people.
Do it. All right.
Get rid of your jets. Continue.
So there is a organization called Food Forward, and since it was established in 2009, it has rerouted 250 million pounds of food that was about to go to landfills and instead gave it to people in need. So if if grocery stores were like, if the food was going to expire, but like, you know how they put expiration dates legally because they have to?
Yeah, but it's not actually bad.
Exactly. Or like if the food looked weird, so no one was buying it, like if it had a bruise, like, you know, anything where like the food was still obviously very good.
Yeah.
It's just no one was going to purchase it. They ended up taking that food and diverting it to communities that needed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And their operation is so like well managed that for every $1 donated, this allows them to redirect 10 pounds of produce from restaurants, grocery stores, or farms and send them to communities.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of restaurants like bakeries and stuff. Mm-hmm. No one buys their stuff. They just have to throw it away.
Yep.
Because they have to make it fresh the next day.
Yep, exactly.
So that's really cool.
So if you're interested in donating, they're called Food Forward.
Love that.
And then the last good news we have. Let me start over.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Politico published an article this morning where it just announced that that New York, wow. I must have typed
6, 7, 8.
I must have typed this really late at night and really fast. Okay. So New Yorkers with past cannabis convictions, so if they've been found with weed and they've been convicted and jailed for it, once they are released and their charges dropped, they are going to be the first ones with the opportunity to obtain a conditional adult use retail dispensary license. So basically, the people that have been wrongly convicted of weed, because now weed is very legal and very popular. So these people are being released from jail now.
Good. They should have been released the second it became legal.
Yep. They're in this very special category of people that have access to buying dispensary licenses. So it's basically New York's way of being like.
So they're like, we know we jailed you for the intent to sell weed, but now you're legally allowed to do it.
Exactly.
What?
I mean, like, it's kind of cool because it's like.
No, like, I'm not mad that they're given this license.
It's just so ironic.
Yeah, it's like these people, their lives were ripped from them.
Ruined.
They were subjected to prison, which is going to have a negative mental impact on them for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
They've probably ruined relationships. They've probably been physically harmed, mentally harmed. And they're like, don't worry.
Don't worry. We got you.
Now, if you want, if you can get the resources, go sell some weed. I know we jailed you for this, but you're fine now.
Here you go.
Go get us some tax dollars.
Right. God, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. And they said, where are we going? Yeah, they said because the war on drugs for so long has terrorized Black and brown minority individuals, it only seemed right to let them be the first ones to receive an economic boom from the new legalized substance. So it's exactly what you're saying. They're like, yeah, we screwed you over and we stereotyped you.
Here,
but
go make us some tax dollars.
Exactly. So
neat.
Yeah.
Positive moment, but also,
what are you doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We got about 5 minutes. You want to question it up or game it up?
Up to you.
Give me a question.
Okay.
I like being angry.
What is the worst / most annoying catchphrase?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really don't like "it is what it is."
Oh, yeah.
I just know because it's like.
Is that a catchphrase?
I can't even tell you the amount of people that say that to me every day. It is what it is.
Oh, what is the one? Oh. When someone says I could care less, because it's I couldn't care less. If you could care less, then you could care less about the thing, right. Which means you do care, in fact. You care. If you could care less, that means you do, in fact, care, and there's room to care less about it. It's I couldn't. I couldn't care less because you care so little that there's no more to care because you can't care any less. Also, I hate it's always in the last place you look. Well, yeah, because why in the world would you keep looking if you found it? Why would you keep looking? You found it. It's over. So of course it's in the last place you looked because that's where the end of the journey is. It's in the last place. There's no more after that. Why would you keep searching? Okay, next question.
Very passionate. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
A pig ear salad.
Explain yourself immediately.
It was the ear of a pig made in salad form. I didn't want to do it. It was either Scotland or Ireland. I believe it was in Scotland. Scotland. And my sister and I were on tour, and her manager and these promoters wanted to take us out to dinner. So they took us to this really fancy restaurant that had all of the parts of the animals you don't want to eat and none of the parts you do. And this is back when I ate meat. Maybe this is what scarred me. But you know how like you were like, oh, I want a steak or a burger. They're like, no. You can have a tongue, an ear, a hoof, bone marrow. Like it was literally all the things you don't want.
I think I would have cried.
I was like, we're paying like $60 a plate for the other restaurant across the street's trash. That's exactly what's going on here. They tricked us. I didn't want to eat it. I ordered the pig ear salad and like some trout, and I think it was just like the trout head. I was like, where's the body? Where's the meat? I'm so confused.
Here, suckle on these tiny fish bones for half an hour.
Tasty. Stuck in my teeth. Have you ever had a fish bone stuck in your teeth?
I've never eaten a fish bone.
You've never eaten like a steaming salmon? There's actually fish bones in it still? You've lived a blessed life.
I have lived a blessed life.
So yeah, a pig ear salad. I don't think I actually ended up eating it. I think my sister and I were like, we'll share it. But we just both like pushed it around a little bit and didn't eat it.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I took a bite, but there was literally just like a giant pig ear in a bed of like arugula.
I can't.
No, I didn't eat it. It was like I ate it, but not really.
Okay. There was this restaurant next to my house growing up. It was called the Dizzy Dolphin, and they purposely served super exotic animal foods.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I had an ostrich burger. Best burger I've ever had in my entire life. And I had it was so good. And I had king cobra. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I never was into the exotic animal thing.
I wasn't either, but my dad really was. So
that makes sense.
Field trip. Yep.
All right, one more question.
Okay. Who is the most interesting person you've ever met? And you don't get to say your girlfriend.
I mean, interesting? Like they've had an interesting life?
I think so.
Because like there's JoJo Siwa.
Yeah.
That's
I think that was going to be my answer. Yeah.
I don't know. I've met a lot of people who've done a lot of things. I
no one stands out?
Not really. Like, because I've met like a lot of famous people, so it depends on your definition of interesting. Because like I love talking to like ER nurses.
Oh yeah.
Because they have like stories on stories, and I find that interesting. But I know famous people, and people are really interested by famous people's lives.
I am.
Ooh. I've met Ariana Grande. Ugh. And I've met really rich people, and they live very different lives than other people. So like,
okay,
it depends on your
all right. Scratch
definition.
Scratch that one. What superhero / villain would make the best therapist? I'm going to go with villain. You have to answer villain. What villain?
Edward Cullen.
Edward Cullen is not a villain.
Well, to each their own.
Are you, wait, we talked about this. You're Team Jacob, right?
In the movies, because he was more attractive in the movies. In the books, I was all with Team Jacob.
Ugh.
No, Team Edward. No, Team Edward he's so toxic. He is so gross and manipulative.
So was Jacob.
I know, but I'm saying, I'm taking back my answer. He wouldn't be a good therapist. I'm not debating Team Jacob versus Team Edward with you right now. I'm debating who would be the best therapist.
Yeah. The second we both realized that we both watched Twilight super ironically, but also for fun and comfort.
Yeah.
That was the day we bonded.
Do you have an answer for this?
I think I would go with Scar from Lion King. He seems like he'd be really empathetic and like we would just like sit.
You just have a thing for him. You just want to smash.
Scar?
Yeah. Don't tell me you don't have a thing for Scar. Yeah. Don't.
I can't help it. He's sexy. Emily! He is!
I think all superheroes have too much of a god complex to be a good therapist. And all villains are too narcissistic.
Oh, you can't tell me you wouldn't sit around and drink a glass of Tito's with Ursula and complain about your problems.
Yeah, but she'd be a terrible therapist. She'd be like, steal their voice. What do you mean?
She'd be like, here, take this potion. Don't ask what it does.
Yeah.
Pour it in their cup.
That villain would just be like, kill them all.
Kill them.
Kill them. They don't deserve you.
True.
Yeah. All right. On that. Yeah, we'd all drink tea and spill some tea with Ursula.
Right.
Actually, she scared me as a kid.
Oh, she seems like she'd be so fun.
Well, yeah. Duh. But as a kid, she scared me. But no, they would all be terrible therapists. They all have god complexes and are narcissistic and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And then like the superheroes all have savior complexes. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
We're ending it there. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to check out our merch. If there's anything you ever want us to talk about, please tweet us or comment it in DMs and Instagrams and all the things. Just let us know in the comments below. It's up to you. Follow us on Instagram. I love you guys. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of All Things Internet. Please make sure to like and follow our podcast on whichever platform you're currently listening to it on. And make sure to follow us at Podcast ATI on Twitter, where you can ask questions and get the latest updates on our show. We love you. Thanks for listening. I'm Rachel Ballinger, and this has been All Things Internet.